City Grind Sportsnet here at the Flight Boys Network, and we are here with legendary Coach Danny Perez. He looking at me like, damn, I can't believe my boy doing this for real, though. But yo, it's an honor to be from a bloodline with you. We did a lot of great things together, and you continue to do a lot of great things. And we had a little tough time, but you know we're rebuilding with a great season last year. It seemed like we are on edge to getting back where we used to. I really was skeptical about doing this interview because I know how we move. We like to fly under the radar. I said, I can't be in the middle of it, so you know I gotta take care of home. Home is home. That's our legacy. It's special to me. Like this. That blue and white is something special, and City Grind Sportsnet know what that blue and white is about. Talk to me, give me some emphasis on what's going on at Fort Hamilton. How is the home? How is the palace? How is the original? Listen to what I'm about to say. The original winners are doing. How are the originals doing?
Well, I want to talk about you first, and the job that you've been doing, giving back to the kids, and with the City Grind Sportsnet, and that All-Star game that it took a lot of work to put together, and we tried really hard the first year.
We did it though, Coach.
And then this year you took care of it, man. That was a great show, great showcase of New York City football, and those kids are gonna remember that game for the rest of their life. And it's been a great honor. Since COVID, there are things that we had and no longer we had, and one of those was like that big All-Star game later in the season for these seniors, and putting that game together, and the way the game played out, it being so exciting. Was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot going back and forth, and that's what we want, man. That's what we want.
Yeah. As far as Fort Hamilton, I have a great group of kids that have been working hard, putting the work in. There's three things. We talk to the boys about the 3 H's, right? You got to work hard. If you're going to be successful in anything, you got to put the work in. You got to be humble. Because if you sort of get a big head, no matter what you get.
I ain't getting none of the humbleness, but I did. I'm just that's real though, man. That's real. Say those 3 things again, please, Coach.
Well, I'm still working. You gotta be hardworking. You gotta be humble, right? And part of that humbleness, is that you want to be the humblest guy in the room. The Rock always talks about that. Be the humblest guy in the room. And for our guys, as long as they stay level-headed, they don't get their big heads, they keep putting the work. And the last part is you got to be hungry. If you look at, I recently saw a post on social media, and it talked about Walter Payton. And Walter Payton is the GOAT. He's the best running back ever played. And what made him the best? Because he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the strongest. But he was hungry. No matter what you did, he wanted it more than you. And, as long as you work hard, you stay humble, and you stay hungry, you're going to be successful in whatever you do in life.
That's deep. So, having humble kids and having a not so humble kid, but having great players, how do you deal with that?
You try to balance that out and stuff, because you're going to rise to people that go around you. And the guys that might be so humble, right? They're going to come down to those guys, and the guys down here are going to come out to these guys, right? And for us, in any organization, they called it a 10-80-10 rule. You got the top 10% who are the elite guys. You have 80%, that's the average, and then the bottom 10%. And the goal is, once you point out the top 10%, you make those guys your leaders. And their goal is to make as many of those 80% guys, bring them up to the top 10%.
So now everybody's at the top.
At the top, right? And then your bottom 10, those are the guys that, as the head coach, I got to address. Because we got to eliminate those guys. We have no time for that.
So that's where y'all get the same trim the fat?
You got to trim that fat. You got to trim that fat. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work from our guys, putting the culture together and, working to become leaders and being elite in that sense.
Now, coming from coaching one of the fifth best player at the time in the nation. Number one in New York, number one in PSAL, number one Section 12, the district that we was in. How were you able to game plan to make a master plan for great players like Antonio Walcott, Jeff Legree, Wendell Jolie, Terrence Turner, Christian Guillaume, Christian Ortega, Tyrone Brown. I know I gotta get them names right, so let me just start.
Troy Smith.
Troy Smith. Jason Dane.
Leonard Dexter.
Yo.
Jaquan Jarrett.
Leonard Dexter was one of the best underrated players, footballers that I ever seen played in the PSAL. And nobody ever talks about this. If Leonard Dexter wouldn't have made those 2 plays in the PSAL championship game for us, guess what? We wouldn't have won. And everybody know what I'm talking about. It was 3rd and 6, and Robert De Leon wanted to drop back and throw a slant on our left, his right. And that's the first time in real life I've seen a 50-inch vertical. Because when you run that play back, Dexter jumped so high, and you know what I'm talking about. Like his feet hit the kid's helmet, and he batted the ball down, and we got the ball back. And the next play we threw, to Winfield Morris. Now back to you.
Yeah.
Then you end up a couple years later.
Talking about that 2005 game versus Lehman, and brings a lot of memories with Coach Colasanto at Lehman and those guys that great coaches and a great team that was undefeated, and we were playing them, and I remember we scrimmaged them early in the season, and they sort of had a.
Lehman, they seemed that they had together with the kid Jude McKinley, the running back, number 5. They was killing us.
Yeah. And then, going into the championship, they had a lot of confidence going up against us. But, we kept things close, and, Whitfield opened that game wide open, man. It was a great ride, man. That was a great game.
Yo, that's crazy how, things happen, because, that game opened up after they scored a touchdown. This is why you have to play all 4 quarters, all downs. It don't matter if you losing 21-0. What? Gotta come back and what? But now let's fast forward a couple years later. Coach Leno retired on top. Your first year, you took over.
Yeah, man. We had some great players with Brandon Reddish, Ivan Floyd, Kevon Foster, James Howell, Robert Thomas. Those guys were some great players. Trayvon Reed Segura at corner.
Brooks, you had Brooks too, right?
Brooks was a little bit later.
Brooks
was a little bit later, but having that group of guys, and they sort of went through a stretch where they were undefeated in the regular season, and 2009 before Coach Leno's last season and last game, and we lost with a couple minutes left to Curtis in the semifinal.
I don't even want to talk about that one. Go ahead.
And going through those tough times, they want to come back, and win in the next year. And then having Coach Leno retired and all those things adding up, but they were coming back to the senior year, and they just put it together, man. They had a great run that year.
Now speaking to you about the success that we've been in, so you've been in the championship from 2003. No, 2001 you went to 2002 you went to the championship.
2002.
They lost to Curtis.
Yeah.
So from that 2000 era, you was in the championship game about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Out of 5, you got 3. Out of 6, you got 5.
We got 3 championships during that stretch. 05, 06, and 2010. But we went to the championships 02 and 2008.
And we lost.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then, yeah.
Okay.
Bringing back memories,
But that's what we got to get back to.
Yeah.
Home is home.
Yeah.
And, I've been walking around with my head up high, but it's time for y'all.
It's
we need our guys.
It's 2024, man. That was a long time ago, and guys are sort of we remember those times, and from that stretch, we sort of been in the middle of the pack. And
do those kids know who we are? All right, not me. Everybody know. I make myself know. But do the coaches
life is sometimes it's weird in that way, because I don't even think there is a central place where statistics are there. And even the PSAL website, after a certain number of years, it is clear out.
Everything is off.
You know, so that there isn't like
Max Prep have everything still.
there's not like a place where there's a collective where you could see stats, where you could see those things. And with social media nowadays, you're driving kids' attention.
Yes, that's the number one thing right now with social media, TikTok. Like, you just like to recruit or get the kids just like do something they like or put something that they up like, or just do something to gravitate their attention. You can easily steal a kid. So what's next for Hamilton?
You know, we're getting ready for our next season. I'm working together with the Richardson program, and he's sort of working and training our kids, and you know, he's doing some elite things with our guys, man, and they put in the work in. And
he's a beast, cause I was working out with him before I was going to leave for my season, and that he really know what he's talking about. We're gonna get him up here on the show, but like,
yeah, man, you gotta get him on the show, man, because the things that he's been doing has been cutting edge as far as physical fitness. And
do you see the difference in the results of your kids?
100%, you know, and not just physically, it's also mentally, because you know, when you put in the work in and the things that he does, is also building a mindset.
Right.
And it still goes back to that part, like, you got to put the work in if you're going to get better in anything you're looking to do.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Coach, you've been, hold on. Before we end this, let's talk about some stories where me and you was at school, okay? Like, this is one of my favorite stories with him. So, and this is why I'm having this conversation, and I'm like, nah, we got to get back to the top. Like, we got to get back to the top. Like, you remember Turner Gill, Greg Schiano, like, these guys was coming to the school, like, calling for us because it was really real, right?
You want to hear a story? We were at Rutgers, and they were playing Louisville, who was number 5 team in the country.
South Florida.
But before that, it was the Louisville game.
And
it was packed. It was a packed game, and you know, Rutgers came back and won that game at the end. And you know, me and Jeff went to the game together, and you know, next thing I know, I can't find Jeff, and we're like, "Where the hell is Jeff?" And he knew Ray Rice. He's hitting up Ray Rice and trying to get into the locker room. You know, I'm looking for Jeff. I couldn't find him, and at the end of the game, we're going in towards the locker room, and you know, the quarterback from Rutgers is getting interviewed. Mike Teal getting interviewed, and Jeff is sitting right next to him as a young high school kid. You know, sort of what they stormed the field that day. That was a crazy day, man. That was a great game.
One of my best memories with you, and also when you and Coach Sanchez, RIP Coach Sanchez, after I played in the Governor's Bowl.
Yeah.
We went to the Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And then, like, we had to call park with Greg Schiano Park that we came out, we going through the whole, like,
yeah.
But you know, like,
I remember.
Thank you for those moments, you know?
Yeah, well, your senior year, I remember driving you out to that freaking game, and, you know, it was just crazy. You know, Jeff, we had the All-State game, the Governor's Bowl, New York versus New Jersey, which they don't play no more, nope. Right? You won MVP in that game, and I remember taking pictures with you after the game with the trophy and stuff, and I still have those pictures.
Right. I need that picture, Coach, but those are special moments, and I'm going to tell you something. I remember even driving to Rutgers and what was going on. Remember Joe Torre just got traded to LA to be the head coach.
Man.
Remember? And I was just so inspired to be a kid from Brownsville, to just be around you guys because you showed us love and y'all showed us loyalty. And even though we made a mistake, we got to beat it and let's get back on track. And y'all never gave up on us. And like, me being a part of a great legacy and me being a leader, a part of that great legacy, we just all would like to say thank you for everything. People don't even know that Coach produced the best PSAL all-time leading running back. Coach had schemes for this guy to become who he is. He has schemes for all of us because obviously it all worked out, mapped out right where we have so much success. But behalf from the alumni for Hamilton and from City Ground Sports Night, being one of your alumni, man. After every game we used to win, I used to meet you in the middle of the hallway. You remember? And give you a hug.
Yes,
And
sir.
like, yo, let's go. What's next?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm so thankful for you, man. Like, even putting this company together, you was that man that helped me put this company together. You was the man that, when everybody was laughing, you said, yo, Jeffrey, we got it. Yeah, let's have faith.
Yes, sir.
You was a man that just always believed. You're not loud, but you're a storm. When you come, you come.
Yes, sir.
And like it's supposed to, you know, that's why it's a quote that we used to say, fly under the radar. Just like great memories. You know what I'm saying? I remember I got Phil Sims' credit card. What's the first thing we do? We cash out together, right? I didn't take Phil Sims' credit card. All right? I didn't, listen. You want to tell them the story?
Well, you know.
We went to the combine, right?
Yes, sir.
The high school combine. I was a sophomore. This is my end of my freshman year. Me, Ronald Purnell. Yes, you remember? Because that's when we first brought that trophy home.
Yes, sir.
Chuck Mount.
Chuck Mount.
Shout out Chuck Mount. Yo, I need you on the show. You already know what it is. Ah, yes. You ran that 4-3 year. I know. I remember. Yes. So, he gave us a great story about working hard, you know, but went to the Chuck Mount camp. That was our first time seeing everybody. You remember that? But we from Brooklyn, New York, so I was like 6'7" or so. Jaquan, Keith, Ronald Purnell, Jason Bain, and Troy Smith, and Antonio Walcott, and Whitfield. So we went up there, but when we walking in, it's like the bubbles. When you walk in, your ears pop. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
But when we first walking in, we see it was a gold team. It's like Notre Dame. I will never forget that. But it's a prep school that was like Notre Dame. It was a school anyway. When we got there, like, oh, where y'all from? We like Brooklyn, New York, from Hamilton. The kid turned around and said, oh, they ain't shit. But when he did like, they ain't shit, we all looked at each other like, oh, now we about to bust their ass, right? So they get to the different groups. So we all learned everything from this point. We learned everything. We didn't know how to run no 40s, no nothing. Coaches took us to get the experience.
Yeah.
So guess what? We out there, you know, we from the hood. We play street ball, like, oh, so we see this kid, why he taking off his shirt? So we start seeing him take off their shirts and spin back. So we said, oh, I guess that's gonna make us run faster, right? So we start seeing the kids doing their little footwork to get down, do their little 40 and all that. So I'm like, shit, I don't know how to do this shit, but shit, let me see who the fastest guy. I'm gonna follow his ass, right? This kid that ran a 4.3, so we had a kid named Ronald Purnell. What up, Ronald? Shout out to Belize, the country. I know y'all watching. This kid, Ronald Purnell, he said, yo, Jeff, tell me when it's my turn. I said, all right. I seen the other kid take his shirt off and everything. He ran the 4.3.
Had some great athletes that day, and
then Ronald
compete.
Ronald ran a 4.46. That's how we ended up getting third place. But what had happened was, when we got the third place award for like the schools, like they do the individuals, and we got invited. But when we was there throwing the ball, cause we was doing 7-on-7, but we didn't play as a team, we was playing with everybody else. It was over with, but when we was leaving, Chris Sims and Phil Sims was walking on the field. And then some kid, I didn't even know who Chris Sims was. I know he played in Texas, so I'm like, I knew who Phil Sims was. So the kid said, oh, shoot, there go Phil Sims. So I said, oh, there go Phil Sims. So Coach Dan said, hey, Jeffrey, Chris Sims, he's a lefty like you. I said, oh, for real?
Where's number 2?
Where? I said, Coach, let me get the ball. Coach Randall gave me the football. I threw the football like 70-something yards. Right to him, just like that. We stayed friends. I said, yo, I want to be just like y'all. Like, what's up? I'm trying to, like what I got to do? And they laughed, but they stayed in touch. Phil Sims used to come to my house. He know my grandmom's. He know my mom. I used to go to his house. Chris was there. Matt was there. Miss Sims was there. Like whenever and then we'll go when he come get us. Chris Sims and Phil Sims used to be betting in the car how I go faster with the stick shift or automatic. We was driving in the Porsche. Me and my brother, for real. Then when we leave from my house, we go to Pre-Seas, we go train, then we go out to a restaurant and go eat, then we go to their house. Then we stay there or we'll come home. But that was just the life because of us being at Fort Hamilton, being in position and that created.
Yeah, you made an instant connection with him. And,
so he said, yo, so I said, yo, I called him, I said, yo, Phil, you want to sponsor my team? But I was being innocent judge. That's just me, like, yo, you want to sponsor, you're a Super Bowl winner, you're an icon, this is your city, like, you know what I'm saying? Just before I got the keys to the city. So I'm like, you want to sponsor? He ended up sponsoring the whole Fort Hamilton team.
Yeah.
For 4 to 5 years with some Nike shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But with me and Coach, what I did was I ordered the shoes. We got the numbers, we ordered the shoes, but he gave me the credit card. And I'm on the line and I bought all of LeBrons. This one LeBron had got me. So I said, yo, Coach Perez, what size shorts and shirt you wear? Guess what? I got everybody something. But I didn't know. I was an innocent kid, just blessed with the opportunity, relationships, and I'm blessed. Like, it got us far, and now we still here, To God be the glory. Shout out to Phil Sims, Matt Sims, Chris Sims, to the whole Sims family. For real. That's how it is. But City Ground Sportsnet here with Danny Perez, legend. How many championships you got?
3.
You got 3. As you win it, and as a head coach, you have 1, right?
Yes, sir.
He will be back. Guess what? I promise you, they will be back. Fort Hamilton, that blue and that white, forever my home. We got the keys to the city. Everybody, choo-choo. He'll be back. Thank you, Coach.
All right.
City Grind Sportsnet.
City Grind
Peace.
Sportsnet.